But yeah, this kid shot up a school in my neighborhood, bro. But yeah, I live in Enoch, but if you don't know, I live here. So yeah, it's just gonna be like very
When
like close
people
to home.
began to grow concerned over a user on X, one that openly praised other killers, bragging that one had followed him, he was reported to the FBI. Unfortunately, nothing was done, leaving him to continue planning his own attack, one that he detailed extensively in his writings.
But let me read this
His
shit.
own attack, one that he detailed extensively.
Miss Answer 3: A general dislike, distrust, disgust, or contempt of hatred of the human species, human nature, or society. I'm burning with hate. Yeah. By the way, this kid was like mental. He's mental, bro. He was mental, bro.
In his
He was something else
writings.
in the brain. I'm not gonna lie. He was different up there.
It's no secret that previous school shooters will
Yeah,
often
his
discuss
manifesto was fake crazy. Bro, he streamed the shooting on Kick, right? He was live on Kick, and then they clip. They banned him, but before they banned him, there's a clip of like after he you know what I'm saying? After he himself, the police officer picked up the phone and like flipped over his body and like you know what I'm saying? Don't send it, but like I know what you're talking about.
inspire other students in a similar demographic to carry out similar attacks of their own. For example, ever since Columbine, many different attacks have taken
You can
place
see
that
the gun
listed
though.
those two killers as inspirations. Now it's gotten to the point where even very recent school shooters are going on to inspire other students to carry out their own attacks, sometimes only mere weeks after their own. This story is one very instance of that. Antioch High School is the name of a public high school in Antioch, Tennessee, which
Literally like down the street from. I didn't go there by the way, but like literally down the street from my crib. That's insane.
is a neighborhood of Nashville.
That was still
It
like a threat
usually
too.
hosts a bit over 2,000 students from ninth
Literally,
to
bro.
12th grade, being one of the 19 high schools in the Nashville public school area. According to the superintendent, Adrian Battle, their public schools have a good array of different security measures, like partnerships with the police to get their hands on some school resource officers. Not only that, but they have security cameras built in with weapon detection AI, shatter-resistant film all over the glass in all of their schools, and
For real,
security
they got hella
barriers between
security.
the
What the
outside
hell?
of the school and the main entrance. In October of 2024, a 16-year-old student was arrested at the school after school resource officers and other faculty found that he had taken a gun on campus.
You gonna see why the school's low key tripping? But
Given that he had taken it to school the day prior, they stopped him at the door the next day upon entering the school and found that he still was carrying a loaded gun in his
so he's
pants.
already
At
bringing guns to school. But
the time, this seemed like a really big deal, but little did the school faculty know this was merely only some foreshadowing as to the future of their school. In December of 2024, a female school shooter, Samantha Ruppnow, went on to kill a student and a substitute teacher before ending her own life.
oh, this was also in Tennessee as well. This happened too. How did they not expel him? This happened before too. I'm not gonna say the word, but yeah, this person or them. I'm trying to be weird, but like yeah, they did that as well.
Before doing what she did, Samantha had quite an online presence within certain groups.
It's
She
crazy.
made her affinity for mass killers very well known, praising them
They give her the bit.
endlessly. Samantha had developed connections with other like-minded, usually teenage users online. Shortly before her shooting, she posted a picture to social media from a
It
bathroom
was elementary school, right? Adam G, am I tripping? You went this? It was elementary school, right? Or something like that. It was not like a middle school or high school. From what
stall
I
in her
remember, I don't know.
school, showing an OK sign with her hand. On the post was a comment, one that seemingly knew what she was up to. It said, simply,
Middle?
live stream it.
So
At the
weird.
time of her death, Samantha was only following 13 other users on X. Two of those accounts, including the
Groundy
one
Cell is
that
him,
left
by the
that
way.
comment, have been linked to one
That's
single
crazy.
person. That being a boy
So
named
that kid who shot up the Antioch High School got inspiration from this guy as well
Solomon
to do what he did.
Henderson.
Insanity.
Solomon Henderson was born in 2007 to a middle-class family, saying that his family were part of a group known as the Black Hebrew Israelites.
What is this?
While this
Never seen
claim
this
was
in my
only made
life.
by Solomon himself, and we will come to see that he isn't the most reliable narrator, it's a claim that hasn't been disputed much. The Black Hebrew Israelites are a fringe religious movement who
I've
believe that
never seen these
African
people in my life.
Americans are the
This is like
true
new
descendants of the
information.
ancient Israelites in the Bible. It's a movement that has been dubbed both anti-Semitic and black supremacist by the Anti-Defamation League. Solomon, growing up, claimed that he didn't have the best home life. He said that his mother would often abuse him. In turn, he was very
Adam G. Adam G. Adam G. Adam G. Wait, I don't think I can watch the rest of this video. Adam G. That's my neighborhood, bro. This nigga lives in my neighborhood. This is literally my neighborhood, bro. This is my neighborhood. This is where I live. Yo, 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 yo. I'm on my life. On my life. This is my neighborhood. Adam G. No, 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 no. Go to his house. No, 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 bro. Should we? Should we? Wait, what's the house number? I think they blurred it. But on my soul, I'm not lying. This is not this. This is literally where I live. This is my. I'm not even trolling. This I don't know. Want to know why? My sister used to tell me like when it happened, she was like, "Oh, I saw the police on the other road. I think he used to live here. I thought she was trolling, nigga. This nigga dead. This nigga dead lives in my neighborhood, bro. I'm not even trolling. Like this is how my house looks, by the way. I live in a one-story house with the same. This is literally how my house looks like, bro. If you've been to my neighborhood, you know this house. This is what they look like over here. I think I know where he lives too. Nigga, should we go? Should we go? Fuck it, right? Oh my god, we're gonna go. Let's finish this video. Let's go. I'm gonna go after you.
Very upset that his father didn't do much to defend him. When he confided in his father,
Yeah,
saying that he
GG's.
felt that he didn't care about
I did not know he lived in my neighborhood, bro. I've never seen this guy in my life.
him, he wrote of the exchange. His excuse was, my mother, Solomon's grandmother, had baby daddies and her boyfriend
Yo.
used to beat me. What you've experienced is nothing compared to me. Being raised within the Black Hebrew Israelites group would prove to be massively ironic for Solomon, as he would come to associate any negativity in his life with the black community. He continued writing of his father's attitude, saying, I'm done with black people. It's fucking a cycle and fucking
Oh yeah,
leaving
he,
it.
he he hated being black. By the way, I can look relate to this, bro. When I was like in elementary school, bro, the way niggas used to treat you because you were black was actually like, kids were just racist, like off the because they were kids, by the way. But the way niggas used to treat you as black, it made you want to be white so bad. It's actually insane. But not to this point, because you know what I'm saying. When you get older, you start to love yourself more. But like this guy is straight up like in his brain was like, I'm not black. I don't want to be black. I don't want to be associated with the blacks. That's what he thought. No troll. That's literally what he thought fully, bro.
Solomon has said that he had very little friends throughout his life, coming to feel that being continually rejected was easier than making friends. He began to compensate by saying that he would rather be hated anyway, writing, I haven't had any real friends since 7th grade. I don't want to be loved, I want to be hated by all. It's the only real emotion. It has been speculated that Solomon ran away from home when he was about 14
Gang, this is literally my neighborhood. I'm lucky doxing myself.
years
Yo,
old in 2021.
yo, they blurred the
This was
thing
when
out
the
though. That's
police were called out to his home for the first time, according to records, with the
gang.
reasoning being that someone had been reported missing. The police were called out to the home again a few more times in 2023. On one of these occasions,
Gang.
the police came out to the home to find that nobody was even there, so they simply left. But then again in 2023, they were called out to the home, this
Gang, I know where he lives. Gang, this nigga lives in my neighborhood, bro. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh my god. We can literally go to his house. I mean, to his parents' house. Yo, this is the most insane shit ever.
time over a family argument. According to Solomon, as a result of the call, the police ended up seizing 2 guns from the home.
Gang,
Given juvenile
this is literally where I
confidentiality,
live.
the cops haven't been able to speak out on this incident on their own. It would make sense that this wasn't due to Solomon himself, as he wasn't arrested, but due to a fight between his parents. Solomon had actually previously uploaded video in which his parents could be heard arguing loudly in the background.
What the hell? What the hell? Damn.
Solomon, not having any friends in school, was described as being both quiet and intelligent by his classmates. One of them later said that he was at the top of the class, but very quiet the majority of the time. She said, we were in ROTC together, this year too, and he was always top of the class, always doing his work. I knew him personally. I just thought he was a sweet, quiet person. However, even at school, Solomon wasn't always so nice. In late 2024, he had actually been suspended for 2 days for bringing a box cutter to school and threatening another student with it. For that, he had gotten into some legal trouble
pissed
and
me
was all
off.
set to appear in
I didn't have that
juvenile
at my high
court.
school.
However, he lucked out of this one, as the family of the student that he threatened decided not to press charges against him. This left him with nothing but the very short suspension as punishment. Over time, Solomon had become fascinated with school shooters and other mass killers, and that's putting it pretty lightly. He completely absorbed himself into the life story of these killers, coming to idolize them. He wanted to talk like them, dress like them, and act like them, and over time he decided that he wanted to kill like they did.
Damn.
Solomon started a diary on October 18th of 2024, one in which he would
I'm
detail the
burning with
majority of his
hate. Hate will change the world. Race mixing is a.
feelings. All
This guy
throughout the
was wilded.
diary, Solomon flips back and forth between being serious and being an internet troll, casting doubt on a lot of his claims. However, many of these claims are fairly mundane or describe feelings that he very clearly believes. For example, Solomon had a strong hatred for various minorities and religions, especially Jews and Muslims, and never wavered on that claim. More than anything, though, Solomon hated black people, describing
That's
himself
what I'm
as,
saying, bro.
well, an N-word cell. That being a combination of the N-word and incel, of course, meaning that he blamed his social failures on being black. Given that the word is probably going to come up pretty frequently throughout his writings, I'll use the word black cell instead just for the sake of getting
Yeah,
around
bro.
the word. In his diary, Solomon expressed that he wanted to kill at least 10 people
I'm pretty sure it
himself,
is.
and
Yeah.
hopefully earn his place among all of the other killers that he admired so much. In the first diary entry that Solomon wrote on October 18th, he opened up with a photo of Eric Harris, one of the shooters in the Columbine High School massacre, followed by a photo of Varg Graven Virkens, a Norwegian black metal artist famous for stabbing Euronymous, the guitarist of a band called Mayhem, and being arrested for his murder. He wrote, "I'm burning with hate. Hate will change the world. Race mixing is a sin against God. Only the ill mentally will praise me after my death, and the only good N-word is a dead N-word, which includes me." He often spoke of how much he hated his own race and how
I
much
wish
he
I was
wished
white. Self-hating goes to. That's
that he was
crazy.
white, clearly stating, "I wish I was white. Self-hating N-word award goes to..."
That's
He then
crazy.
went on to describe himself as, "I'm 5'8", short, unattractive, and an N-word. Fuck my life." Although Solomon seemed to be very fond of white people, he wasn't so keen on people of other races. Possibly due to his upbringing within the Black Hebrew Israelites, he developed a very strong hatred for Jews, who the Black Hebrew Israelites believed to be a fraud. On October 19th, he wrote, "I feel like
Look at these images and shit, bro.
I'm living my life on repeat, doing everything all over again. I don't want to be a Jewish slave to this system." It wasn't too long after this that Solomon began to allude to the fact that he was planning some sort of attack for the first time, adding that he felt he was perfect for the job, stating, "I'm perfect for this. I have no faith in humanity." In regards as to why he wanted to commit the attack, the first comment he would make was, "Misanthropy and xenophobia is what fuels my heart," which is ironic coming from someone who is alien to his own people and everything around me. In one of his next entries, he celebrated Brenton Tarrant's birthday. This was the perpetrator in the Christchurch mosque shooting, which Solomon seemed to be quite a big fan of. In the entry, he included some artwork of Brenton as well as an audio clip
So
personally
weird,
wishing him a
bro.
happy birthday.
They
Happy
finna play it.
birthday, Brenton. Happy birthday, Brenton Tarrant. Happy birthday to you.
Like, this guy's
Happy
crazy.
birthday, Brenton Tarrant. Total weird death. Kill all Muslims. Happy birthday, Brenton.
Yo, isn't that TOS?
It's worth noting that
What?
it seems that Solomon even attended
Yo,
a
chill.
mosque at least once, leading to speculation that he may have debated on
Who is
carrying
that?
out an attack
It's
there
at school.
himself.
He was the Antioch high school shooter. Which now that I know lived in my neighborhood. He literally lived in my neighborhood. They just literally showed like the house he lived in was literally in my neighborhood.
Solomon spent
Like,
a
I could literally
good
go to it
portion
right
of his
now.
diary
So that's
celebrating
crazy.
certain mass killers
I did
that
not
he
know
seemed
that.
to admire more than others. One of the killers mentioned the most was Dylan Storm Roof, a white supremacist mass murderer who perpetrated the Charleston church shooting. While Dylan is considered to be frankly odd-looking by most, Solomon said that he was cool and wished that he could take pictures like he did. He then called Dylan a saint. He also praised Patrick Wood
It happened like a
Crusius,
couple
a
months
man
ago.
who shot up a Walmart in El Paso, Texas and killed 23 people. He even called him his hero. And like many killers have to this date, he then praised Elliot Rodger, saying that he, like Dylan, has style. He even talked about starting to wear a watch because Dylan and Elliot wore them, even though he felt that the style was somewhat feminine. On another page, he even clearly tries to take a selfie in the same vein as many of Elliot's, stating clearly that it's his intention.
This is
At
messed up,
some
but
points, he would
why
break
is
from
there?
whatever else he was
Okay,
writing.
this is messed up and all, but why is there 100% polyester silver direct in your head? See, yo, you don't know where to quit, my nigga. This shit is silky. Polyester does not look like this, my nigga. You see, your raise be wearing that fucking polyester shit. On God, he does. This is silk, my nigga. Silk. I'm making fun of my shit, bro. Making me fucking mad. This is a serious video. Come on, lock in. It's a time and a place, bro.
In the diary specifically to post
Jesus
more
Christ.
pictures of Elliot. When it came to being an incel, although he admitted to being one, he said that he never wanted that label because he didn't want people to feel that that was his motivation. He really didn't do much to hide the association, though, using incel terminology.
When people say he look like Allosaur, it was so funny. I mean,
all
he
throughout
does
all
look
of
like
his
Allosaur.
writings, such as using looks maxing when he refers to working
It does look
out,
related.
and even referring to
Yeah.
himself as, well, Black Cell. He seemed to like Adam Lanza as well, the perpetrator in the Sandy Hook shooting. He posted a lot of photos of him along with various anime-inspired fan art of him
Like, what
that he
is
found
this,
around
bro?
the internet. Oddly, when it comes to Nicholas Cruz, he simply made fun of him for having man boobs. He also makes fun of Columbine, saying that their home videos and trench coats were cringe. He did admit that Columbine had style, though, and posted fan art of the killers. He even spoke of Randy Stair as well, saying that he found his videos hilarious, but this time he seems to mean it as a compliment. After
What's good,
posting
ugly?
a long list of
Yo, Illy Philly. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you could say that, but what's good, bro?
quotes from different mass killers, he then spent a few pages showing their death photos. He then spent several more pages simply listing the names and birth dates of various mass killers without elaborating
I don't get how
stats
someone can Google all this information. FBI does not show up to their house, being like, we're taking you to jail.
about them.
Niggas, they looking up serial killers and fucking school shooters.
More strangely, among all of his photos of killers was a picture of none other than the infamous lolcow, Chris Chan, as a child. While he might have found Chris's picture and believed it to be one of another killer, it's more likely that this picture was included as a joke. In addition to photos of killers, many pages of the diary were nothing but selfies of Solomon in different outfits and wearing gear with no text or explanation whatsoever, including blurry pictures of what seems to be Solomon showing off
What
some
the fuck is this nigga doing?
games he was playing. A large chunk of the diary pages are what you could only describe
Ugh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck?
as shitposts as
Hey,
well,
yo!
such as when he praises a man in SpongeBob cosplay for supposedly carrying out an attack. At one point in the diary, he came to explain the incident in which his home was raided back in 2023, although he doesn't elaborate much.
Can you believe that this nigga lived in my neighborhood, bro? Like, I didn't even know that till today, man. Like, this nigga, this crazy nigga really could have popped my shit, nigga. I could have been caught lacking, nigga. But he just never did, bro. He really could have popped my shit any day. You kids just see me walking outside. He's not my neighbor. He lives in my neighborhood. Like, imagine I'm walking on the sidewalk. He could have really just popped my shit. Like, isn't that crazy?
Only writing, I had my house raided
That's
once.
insane,
they
bro.
found a gun. It was mine. Lol. My dad took the blame. My dad, he's cool. I hate my mother, though. In November, Solomon began
Insane,
to consider
bro.
when and where at his school he might try to carry out an attack. On the 8th, he wrote, "It's 11:12 on a Friday during lunchtime and it has a lot of people. But Thursday is the switch day.
January
It
10th.
has a huge density of people, most being BIPOCs, which is Black, Indigenous, People of Color,
This nigga's literally like targeting black niggas as a black nigga.
than usual weekdays. Graduation makes more sense to attack, though. I want to do a stabbing
That's actually graduation, bro.
Hobbs,
Oh
but at
my
huge
god,
risk
that
of
would have
being
been
caught and
bad,
receiving a
bro.
low high score. In this context, score is what people in his circle call the kill counts that each of these killers ended up with. Then he abruptly changed the topic to anime, writing, "I've been watching and reading
What a
the web
fucking nerd,
novel
bro.
of ReZero. It's
ReZero,
so
nigga?
good. Too bad I won't see the full animated series in this form as I am right now." In the diary, he began to write out his plans to build bombs in great detail. He spent several pages entirely listing how to make bombs, which I can't show for obvious reasons.
Same.
On December 12th, he posted that he had purchased some nails and tacks as shrapnel. It was only a few days later on the 16th that the diary took somewhat of a depressing turn. He wrote, "When I think about what I'm going to do, I get sad seeing and reading kids/adults before who did similar attacks.
He did look like you?
The
Don't say that.
loneliness,
That's actually weird. Don't even do that shit. He just, first of all, he doesn't look like me. Don't say that, bro. Do not try to
fact
compare
that
me
we
to a school shooter. Like, that's just weird, bro. Like, that's just genuinely just weird. Like, don't even do that, bro.
had no other choice,
No
help,
need for that
just
shit, bro.
nothing.
Like, just
I
don't
have
shut.
no mother, I have no father, I have no sister, I have no brother. I was born alone and will leave this world alone." While it seems that Solomon and Samantha Ruppnow didn't communicate directly online aside from commenting and sharing posts, it has been said that they were both within the same network of troubled teens that tended to glorify mass murder online. In 2024, before she died, Samantha even shared a post by Solomon. In that post, he wished a happy Veterans Day to Charles Joseph Whitman, the perpetrator of the University of Texas Tower shooting in 1966. In December of 2024, Samantha committed her attack on the Abundant Life Christian School.
It was an elementary school.
Solomon, seemingly feeling starstruck by having been followed by her, quickly developed quite a fascination with her. Someone commented on one of his posts on X, saying that one of his buddies seems to have shot up a school. Solomon replied, "I barely knew her," saying that he never actually exchanged DMs with her, but he began to change his tone as his fixation on her grew. On December 16th, he noticed that Samantha had followed him on Twitter. He wrote, "Holy shit, the newest school shooter followed me on my private and public Twitter, I think." He then began to post a lot of photos of Samantha along with some fan art he found online of her. He confirmed in a diary entry that he had indeed been the one to tell her to livestream the attack.
Check out his Twitter,
saying
is
that
still
her
there?
boyfriend
I don't think it
unfollowed him
is.
for it. He compares her to other female shooters, saying that she mogs them all, meaning she's so much hotter than them that
she says she mogs other school shooters. Like, what's going on in these niggas' brains, bruh?
makes them look ugly
Like,
in
what?
comparison. Solomon began to brag online that he and Samantha were mutuals, writing things like, "I used to be mutuals with someone who is now a real school shooter."
Like, gang, that's not a flex, bro.
He began to refer to Samantha as a saintress, terminology that she would have been very familiar with when it comes to glorifying mass killers. He reposted and shared many posts that she had made in the past. In fact, he even began to start using a photo of her as his profile icon on Discord. He even began to
People say they don't see the signs, I swear to God. I mean, this guy, all his shit was private. Like, it's not nothing was tied to his name. You know what I'm saying?
her name into various pieces of gear and weaponry that he had gotten his hands on. Joking of Samantha's influences, Solomon even posted on X, "There should be a betting market for which right-wing Twitter figure will radicalize the next shooter." It's likely hoping that he might be this
Bro, I feel like the main reason why
someone...
school shooters happen in Tennessee, my nigga, this nigga's 18, he went to the gun store. I would like to purchase this gun, and just bought it and went to school. But the school saw him with a gun on 2 occasions, the leader said, let's keep that up. Let's keep that up. I mean, that is also the school's fault as well. They could be blamed as well, but it's also the state, like the law on guns. The fact that people just have guns is crazy. Because in Cali, my nigga, you can't just like buy a gun and like you can't be 18 and buy a gun. You know what I'm saying? And here in the South, nigga, everyone just has straps. That's the problem.
else.
It's like the main problem with like gun
After
control
all
and
of
shit
this,
like
a user on X became
Just get it and
suspicious
go
of
use it.
Solomon's activity, even sharing his post to the FBI, saying, "He needs to be locked up, no questions asked." The FBI
Remember
either didn't see
the
the
big
share
bird gun
or
accident?
just didn't really look into it.
I know what you're
Back
talking
in the
about.
diary, Solomon began to contemplate killing his parents, but mainly his mother, writing, "I should just go with my gun and shoot her while she sleeps in her bed
This guy
before
is
zero
weird.
day.
Like, what the hell?
Maybe I should set up bombs near JFK Middle School and elementary school near my
Gang,
house as a
JFK middle school and fucking elementary school near us too. This guy is
diversion
crazy, bro.
to delay the police."
This guy's
It's worth
crazy.
noting that Zero Day is the name of a very
He
popular
bragged about buying a gun and bringing it to school to flex.
dramatized
That's the
documentary
problem,
of
bro. You could just buy
Columbine, and the
guns.
Columbine killers also placed bombs in various areas as a diversion. However, Solomon later changed his mind on this, writing, "I don't think I can kill my family." By December 28th, Solomon was imitating Samantha in full swing, not only writing in his diary, but also writing a manifesto as well. He spoke of seeing her in a dream, writing, "Working on manifesto and writings. I had a dream, and in it I got feted, and they wanted to check my phone and found gore. The reason for the visit was Sanctus Rupnow." On December 29th, he finally explained his motivations in a bit of detail for the first time, stating, 12 years of my life waste in an institution that taught nothing but how much I fucking hate people being forced to work with a groups of mongrel who can't speak English and then take credit for my work. Fuck the parents that place their children in these slave systems. It's retribution to commit this attack for all this shit. My parents didn't help me at all. If I did my online school, I could have graduated early, but no, you didn't want to help. Never helped me do anything. Shortly after, Solomon wrote that he had gotten into a fight with his mom, showcasing a small cut on his arm. He said that his father was having a heart attack at the same time, saying that he might have died before ending the sentence with a lull.
Bro, I don't like.
He then showed a photo
Like,
of the
what?
EMTs in his home. It wasn't too long after that he began to show his gun for the first
You
time
know,
in
you
his
know what's
diary.
also is crazy
He posed
too.
with the gun.
Now that the fact that I know this guy lived in my neighborhood, there was like a time period where there's always like police and like ambulances like in my neighborhood. I would just hear them. And it's probably because of this nigga, bro, and his family or whatever.
that it was all almost over
That's just
and that
crazy,
he was
bro.
looking forward to hooking up with Samantha in the afterlife. A diary entry on January 1st showed that, by this time, he was debating on whether he should commit the attack while he was still 17 or wait until he was 18 so that he could, in his words, get better equipment like GoPro and better guns. It seems that the debate didn't last long, with another entry one day later stating, "Everything is faster approaching. It's weird knowing that I may or may not be dying this year. Honestly, I'm either going to kick out my house or die like my parents due to bad health. I just can't. Every moment I go to that school, I feel shooting it up." The
Like
next day,
what?
he elaborated further, writing, "I can't do this anymore, though. I'm slipping. I can't keep walking through the same days and the same rooms. I can't keep taking the same drugs and having the same dreams. I can't keep hating the same people. I can't smile at the same faces. I'm so tired. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep waking up in the same house. I can't keep trying the same things to trick myself into wanting this. I can't keep trying to want this. I can't keep trying to want to live. I've never wanted to live. I never will. I can't keep coming on here and whining." He posted that he had been banned on X twice now, seemingly with both bans for glorifying murder. He lamented that he had planned to use those accounts to advertise his attack. Then, finally, on January 16th, there was this entry. "The shooting will happen next Thursday. This is a complete failure and not the original plan I had. Due my incompetent, the law, and family issues." He added that he is planning to livestream the attack, noting previous
That's
attempts by
crazy.
other killers in the past. On January 21st, Solomon attached another selfie, this time of himself in his junior ROTC uniform. He wrote, "Tomorrow is the day. I was planning on Thursday, but I need to speed things up. I don't have a lot of time. Holy shit, I'm nervous, scared, and excited at the same time. Scared of failing to kill myself, then going to jail. My goal is to kill at least 10 people to beat the Troon Elementary School shooter." The shooter that he was describing was the Nashville shooter, seemingly wanting to kill 10 people simply to end up with a higher kill count than what was most likely the most famous Nashville shooting to date. The last thing ever posted to the diary was the text, "Finally face pick. God, I am ugly. 4 hours to go. There's a bunch of middle and elementary kids." The manifesto that Solomon produced is a very rough read, to say the least. The vast majority of the writing is nothing but an endless spew of memes, buzzwords, and profanity. He's clearly writing the
How long is
manifesto
this
in the
shit?
most offensive and inflammatory way possible in order to bait a reaction from both people online and within the media. So much of it is contradictory, hyperbolic, and obviously intended to both offend people and mislead the media that basically none of it can be taken seriously. He spends the majority of the time incoherently complaining about all what he calls non-Aryan races. With his self-hatred, he complains about black
Like, bro,
people and
what
black
is
culture
this,
the most
bro?
throughout
Like,
by
what is this guy
far. The
saying?
majority of the pages can't even be shown because they would basically end up being half blurred out anyway. Even the memes contain swastikas, gore, and nudity. Some of the few coherent writings include, "I'm ashamed to be black. I feel like shit being an N-word. It seems I can never hear black people doing anything positive anymore. N-words have to ruin shit. N-words have to do what N-words do best."
Like, bro.
He says that black people hate him, brown people hate him, women hate him, the r/pol community, the politics subsection of 4chan hates him, and that it makes him want to cry. He laments that he basically feels his own culture is holding him back. He then has a page dedicated to his hatred of Jews and his views on circumcision. When it comes to his opinions on Islam, he simply posted a picture from the Christchurch mosque shooting. Christianity he doesn't seem to hate, but he says that Christians are too passive for his liking. He spends another page saying that violence is necessary to uphold the law, ending a long rant with, "In conclusion, it is my belief that in order for the total societal failure of the West, it is imperative to teach violence to people again. Teach them how to do it, when to do it, why they should do it." He then has a page telling the reader how important it is to look your best before becoming a criminal, saying that looks maxing is key to outreach.
Like,
While this is clearly a
what?
shitpost in its own right, Solomon
Looks
has shown
maxing?
that he was both very self-conscious of his looks and spent a lot of time working out in the past. Several of the next pages were dedicating to dieting and losing weight. Eventually, after many pages of Wojak memes, he came to a Q&A section, anticipating questions that people may have about him. He wrote that he is not a Nazi, saying that anyone who claims to be one is merely role-playing. He said that he was going to do this for the enjoyment. He added that he can't remember being bullied once in his life, so bullying isn't a factor. He did say that he hates school because it's, in his mind, only a daycare that stifles your ability to
Kanye
think.
West.
When speaking of life, he challenges phrases like, "it just gets better with time," saying that transitioning into a career and dying in a retirement home doesn't sound much better to him than where he is now. Despite being in the ROTC, when it comes to joining the army, he wrote, "No honest person would fight for more mass immigration, higher taxes, and living expenses." When asked why he chose a school, he said that it's an act against Zionism, stating that schools perpetuate the idea of the Holocaust, which he says is a lie. Finally, he said that anyone will be a target, and that he doesn't feel bad for targeting children because they're going to be adults someday anyway. The last thing he does is try to take down a bunch of celebrities and media franchises with him, saying that they were what radicalized him. He wrote, "Is there a particular groups or
Mr.
people
Beast.
that radicalized you the most?"
Okay. Candace Owens, Ethan Raff, Nick Fuentes, Ruben Sim, Adam G, a Roblox YouTuber nigga? You know who this is, right? Mr. Beast, Destiny and Hassan Piker. What the fuck?
Owens,
Ruben
Ethan
Sim is a
Ralph,
Roblox
Nick
YouTuber, bro.
Fuentes, Turkey Tom, Ruben Sim,
That's a Roblox
Mr. Beast,
YouTuber, bro.
Hobson Talks,
Like what?
Wayne Lambright, iDubbbz, Destiny, Hassan Piker. It's easy to see that most of the figures on this list are from completely opposite sides of the political spectrum, with some of them, like Mr. Beast, seemingly having nothing to do with politics or radicalization in the slightest, meaning that Solomon was likely only trying to attach his name to as many controversial personalities as possible while trolling their communities along the way. He wrote, "To expand on this, Candace Owens has influenced me above all each time she spoke. I was stunned by her insights, and her own views helped push me further and further into the belief of violence over the Jewish question, along with Turkey Tom and Ruben Sim pushing me to the alt-right pipeline."
Ruben Sim's literally a Roblox YouTuber, bro. Like,
He
how
then
big is only
proceeded
knew
to
that
try to
is?
throw violent media under the
I don't
bus,
think I can show
writing,
that.
"We're taught violence and extremism by video games, music, literature, or cinema. Yes, following music called Incelcore/Shootercore taught me kill. Kanye West and playing games like CSGO, Manhunt, Cry Out of Fear, Postal, Doom, Skylanders, Mega Chud,
Like what?
TNO, HOI4, Moriyama Middle School Shooter have mentally prepared me for murder."
This guy's crazy.
Again, this one is clearly only a troll, with games like Skylanders, an E-rated game geared mainly towards children, being thrown in. Given that Solomon admits to Fed posting within the manifesto itself,
This little shed is like literally at the high school, like on the football field.
meaning that he makes
I've
posts
been there before, I know
specifically to
what
get the
this is.
Fed's attention on certain people and topics, this is all pretty transparent. The rest of the manifesto merely deteriorates into a bunch of racial jokes, trolling, and memes. At the very end, he finally thanks his online friends without going into much detail. The manifesto finally concludes with, "I take great pride in the fact that people before me and after me will commit similar acts, not only in the USA, but all over the world." This brings us to January 22nd, 2025. While Antioch High School had security cameras with weapon detection AI, school resource
For real?
officers, and security kiosks,
AI.
they weren't quite as prepared for an attack as they thought. At some point in the morning, Solomon shared his documents online, including his manifesto, his diary, and a few books that he said inspired him. Like any other day, he hopped into the passenger seat of his mother's car as she drove him to school. Little did his mother know, this time Solomon was carrying a gun in his backpack, a 9mm Taurus G2C semi-automatic pistol. He behaved very normally at school until around lunchtime. Much like his idol, Samantha Ruppnow, he went into the bathroom just before 11 a.m. to gather himself and prepare his weapon, which he has speculated to have hidden in the bathroom earlier on in the day. He put the gun into his backpack and headed off towards the cafeteria. It was now shortly after 11 a.m. Solomon pulled out his phone and opened up the Kick app. Here, just like he planned, he started up a live stream so that he could show his attack. Most of the live stream was incoherent, cutting in and out. The majority of the video only showed his legs and the floor of the hallway as he walked towards the cafeteria. Solomon entered into the cafeteria and made his way into the lunch line. At 11:09 a.m., he felt it was time to start his attack. 2 school resource officers were in the building at the time, but neither of them were anywhere near the cafeteria. With his backpack hanging off of his arm, he quickly pulled out his gun and began to fire rapidly without saying a word. The first student that he aimed the gun towards was a 16-year-old student named Jocelyn Correa Escalante. He killed her right then and there before trying to fire at other students. Luckily, no other students were killed. One was grazed by a bullet, and another suffered an injury to their face after falling while trying to escape. While we can't know what Solomon was thinking, it seems he realized everything was over. He turned the gun over on himself and ended it. Shortly after, the police arrived. After Solomon died, his phone fell to the floor, camera facing down, causing the screen to stay black for quite some time while the police tried to get a handle on the situation. In the stream, they could be heard yelling at other students to stop recording with their phones as the chaos continued in the background. For the next several minutes, the live stream was nothing but police chatter, screams, and both students and teachers trying to explain what they saw.
I saw this video.
In the end, the police finally found Solomon's phone and picked it up. They were shown on the stream briefly before they cut the video. Solomon had fired 10 shots in total during the shooting, all being fired within 17 seconds. The gun still had 9 rounds left inside when it was taken. Near his body, another magazine was found with only 7 rounds inside. After the SWAT team swept the school, they realized that Solomon was the only shooter and that everything was indeed all over. Saying that there was no longer a threat, the 2 injured students were taken out of the building and to the hospital. Jocelyn, however, was clearly dead at the scene of the crime. At first, the police couldn't say what the motive was for the shooting or if the victims were targeted specifically. At first, they thought that Jocelyn may have been a specific target and that the other 2 injured students were merely caught in the crossfire. However, it wasn't long at all before the police discovered Solomon's writings online, giving them a much more clear explanation as to what Solomon had intended to do. They also found Solomon's connections to Samantha Rupnow, concerning them even further. The authorities had already known that Samantha had been involved with like-minded individuals online before her attack, and this proved their concerns over more violence occurring as a result were completely valid. They found that Solomon's gun had been purchased legally in Arizona back in 2022, never having been reported stolen. They weren't sure, however, if it belonged to him, his parents, or someone else. The parents of the students in the school were told not to come out to the school itself, but instead to go to a local hospital in order to pick up their kids. The students were led out of the school and filed into buses in order to get there. Meanwhile, ambulances took the 2 injured students to the hospital directly. A large crowd formed outside of the hospital, with a lot of confused and panicked high schoolers waiting to meet back up with their parents. The recorded live stream of the shooting was removed off of Kick very quickly, with Solomon's account being banned automatically. Kick made a statement confirming that they had removed the video, saying, "Violence has no place on Kick. We are actively working with law enforcement and taking all appropriate steps to support their investigation." Some of Solomon's associates online publicly identified him as the shooter before the police even confirmed his identity. With other students from the school identifying him as well, even showing his photo, this was the first time anyone would ever see Solomon or hear of his beliefs. His diary was found and posted online by independent researchers and crime enthusiasts. It was posted online in an editable form that was quickly vandalized by pictures of, well, Nikocado Avocado's nude anus.
What the fuck? Like, what? How does that even come? How do we even
many
get to
others
this
had
point?
saved the original file before all of that chaos. Shortly after the attack took place, Solomon's home was raided by the police. Many photos and videos were taken of the police presence at the home. They came to remove several boxes from the house, all containing potential evidence as they tried to figure out what had led up to the attack. While the police didn't say much about what the boxes contained, they did confirm that they didn't find any firearms or firearm parts during the search.
This is my area, bro. That's
students,
crazy.
the one grazed by the bullet and the one who injured their face after falling, were treated and released from the hospital shortly after the attack. The night of the shooting, a church in Antioch called the United Family Fellowship held a vigil for anyone in the community who needed to process what had happened. Antioch, seemingly more unfazed by this than you would think, decided to resume holding classes less than a week after the shooting took place.
Crazy.
You might remember the incident where Solomon threatened the other student with a box cutter. The uncle of the threatened student posted about the shooting on social media shortly after, angered that the school had seemingly done nothing to monitor Solomon after he had already threatened violence. He said, "I blame you, Metro Nashville Public Schools. Y'all failed that kid." Adrian Battle, the city's director of schools, said, "I know there are questions about whether additional steps such as stationary metal detectors should be considered. While past research has shown that they have had limitations and unintended consequences, we will continue exploring emerging technologies and strategies to strengthen school safety." Another school district official explained why their AI cameras had failed in detecting the gun, saying, "In this instance, based on the shooter's location and proximity to the cameras, it wasn't close enough to get an accurate read and to activate the alarm. The system was activated by police when they brandished their weapons. There's no foolproof solutions for any of this, but this is one extra step." When it comes to the potential groups that Solomon was a part of online, very little concrete information is actually known. Given how much he liked to troll and claim influence from celebrities and different media, it's very hard to go on his word alone. Even if he seemed to be telling the truth, his word was nothing less than contradictory and nonsensical the majority of the time. However, the authorities do believe that the connections between Solomon and various loose organizations of other violent individuals online were substantial. Violence prevention researchers stated, "This network is best described as an online subculture that celebrates violent attacks and radicalizes young people into committing violence. Many of the individuals involved in this network are minors, and we'd like to see intervention to give them the help and support that they need, for their own safety as well as those around them." One of the groups that they are most likely referring to is one that Samantha was believed to have been connected to in some capacity, a group called 764. This is a group that, online, coerces kids into committing violent acts, but also encourages them to send explicit material and harm themselves on camera for other adult members to watch. Before the shooting, Solomon posted a voice message on Discord saying that he was doing it for the group.
Attacking my school for 764 and MKY. 764.
That is so weird, bro.
However, it is doubted by many that Solomon was actually a member of the COM at all. It's more heavily speculated that he was merely on the peripheral, connected only a few steps away, following people who were loosely connected to the group without engaging himself. It seemed that he was at least aware of the group's existence and of their terminology, but there isn't as much evidence to support that he was ever in contact with any of them directly. Another organization that researchers suspect Solomon of being related to is one called Terrorgram. Terrorgram has been labeled as a terrorist organization by the U.S. State Department, saying that the group, quote, promotes violent white supremacism, solicits attacks on perceived adversaries, and provides guidance and instructional materials on tactics, methods, and targets for attacks, including on critical infrastructure and government officials. The FBI was asked to comment on the tip that they had received about Solomon over X, the one in which a user shared his post celebrating Samantha Rupnow and said that he was clearly a danger and needed to be locked up. The FBI simply declined to comment. This led to a lot of blowback online, with many users saying that internet users can clearly pick out potential mass shooters while the FBI cannot. Now, the biggest question on everyone's mind is, where and when will this happen next? Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, it really helps me out.
Damn, bro. What the fuck? Now that video is fake crazy. That shit was low-key fake crazy. Damn, I didn't even know he lived in my neighborhood until today. That's crazy as fuck.